Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Dale Emmons.
Is my mic on? Yeah. Good evening. If I had to have your attention for just a minute. Good evening. Welcome to the Polly's Dinner 2013. First, I'd like to thank our sponsor tonight, Resonate, for making tonight's event possible. Let's give them a round of applause. In addition to Resonate, we have silver sponsors as well, Active Engagement and Via Media. Let's give them a round of applause. I'm reminded that I often want to pay gratitude to those who've helped me. If I could have your attention for just a minute, I won't ask April Hackney to whistle yet. If I could have your attention for just a moment. I'd like to ask the board members of the AAPC, if they would, including our chapter presidents and our academic members, if they would stand where you're sitting so people can acknowledge you and the work that you've done. I can assure you that making the last 3 days events take place has taken a lot of effort and work. We have an outstanding staff at the AAPC led by our Executive Director, Elena Joyce, and Elena and her husband are in the room someplace. I want to acknowledge Elena's leadership, if y'all would do that with me. And finally, but certainly not last, I've had a great partnership in life with my wife, Allison, and we've enjoyed traveling the country the last year and 3/4, and we look forward to finishing my term up at the end of June. But I want to thank Allison for all she's done to help me this last year. We've had a great conference, and I think most of you who've been here throughout the conference would agree that the programming's been outstanding. We've got lots of folks who've brought lots of wonderful training and insights to us. And tonight I want to bring to the stage a gentleman who absolutely needs no introduction. I couldn't begin to introduce him if I wanted to in terms of his resume. But the most important credential I want to say is we have one of our own who's in our Hall of Fame, who's a guy that I am incredibly proud of and to be associated with the American Association of Political Consultants, our friend Paul Begalia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your Master of
President
Ceremonies, Paul Begalia.
Thanks. Dale Emmons, ladies and gentlemen. Dale is right. It's nice to be among friends and colleagues. I am a proud political consultant now for 25 years or more. My best friend James Carville and I started a little firm called Carville and Begalia. And let me tell you, a quarter of a century of being James Carville's partner. Being James Carville's partner is a little bit like being Kim Kardashian's feet. I'm sure they're quite nice, but they tend to get overshadowed by more prominent features. So it's very nice of Dale and Doc and everybody from the AAPC to invite me to be here. Carville would be here himself, but it is, of course, time for his rabies shot, so he's... So tonight is a night to honor politics as a profession, and it is an honorable profession. Every one of us in this room has decided to spend her or his time and labor serving democracy. Thank you, which is sometimes allowed in messy business. My father was in the oil field business in a little town in Texas where I grew up, and I told him I wanted to get into politics, and this is what he said. "Oh, politics, that's a dirty business, son," like Mother Teresa spent her career in the oil patch in Texas, you know. There are people who think the oil business is corrupt, Daddy, and they think that's dirty. But he got the better of me with this. He said, if you think about it, the word politics itself shows you why no good person should go into it. Poly is, of course, a Greek root which means many, and ticks are blood-sucking insects. And I thought, well, that's the life for me. This is now the mother nest of those blood-sucking insects. But the truth is the people in this room and the winners in this program and that you'll see in a minute on this screen have practiced politics at its best. And as a profession, not simply as some sort of a sidelight diverting them from things that are more important in life. I think that's important to state. And it requires all of us to be on the cutting edge. Everybody here has an iPhone, an Android. Those of us, I still have the BlackBerry, which my kids call a rotary cell phone. But there is some news, probably while you all were drinking, I was checking the feed here from the internet. A couple of news stories that affect us as political professionals. First, Eric Holder. Eric Holder is threatening to resign unless the president says he, in fact, is the prettiest attorney general in America. Back home in my home state of Texas, the Bush Library is prepared to open. The Secret Service is performing the last sweep to make sure there's not a single book in it. And then President Bush will go in. Our current president, Barack Obama, famously, I think you all saw the tape, he went 1 for 22 on the White House basketball court after the Easter egg roll. 1 for 22? Even Dick Cheney said, man, that guy's got to learn how to shoot. Closer to home in Dale Emmons' home state of Kentucky, Ashley Judd has announced she will not run for the Senate. I know it's a shame. As a quid pro quo, Mitch McConnell has announced he won't do any more romantic comedies with Matthew McConaughey. Sort of Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann, once again in the newspaper, once again reaffirming her opposition to the teaching of the biological theory of evolution. When asked about it, she said she didn't believe in evolution or gravity or photosynthesis or electromagnetism or any of that spooky science stuff. She's the only member of Congress who thinks the Flintstones is a documentary. Now, I hope I've hit both sides evenly here, because we're going to honor both sides evenly tonight, as you'll see. But I want to come back to this first point that I made. This is an honorable profession. I have spent my adult lifetime in it, and I have met some of the finest and most decent people that I have ever known in this profession. Some of you are in the room. And it goes way back. You know, Moses had a political consultant, his brother Aaron. Right? Those of us who are people of faith, we know our Bible. Aaron was Moses' political consultant. Alexander the Great had Aristotle as his political consultant. George Washington had James Madison as his political consultant. Abraham Lincoln had Willie Herndon as his political consultant. This is an ancient and honorable profession. It is probably the second oldest profession, actually, and one that I am proud to be a member of. And so tonight is to honor you, the best of the best. You'll see in the programs 2,200 nominees in over 500 categories from all across the country. Impressive work, outstanding work. And we're going to honor you tonight. I do have one slight modification suggested by my buddy Carvel and our friend Carl Rove, who next year want to make sure that they're allowed to run negative ads in the program. But we're not doing it this year. You'll see the names and the awardees in the program, and we're going to honor some of them, especially up here on this stage tonight. But what I want to do right now is ask the folks running the tech to put the winner's scroll up here. As we eat dinner, I'm going to leave you to eat. As we eat, I want you to look up at this screen, and you'll see the list of the people who've won in each category. Many of them will be coming up here on the stage tonight, but this is the time to see yourself in lights as well as in the program. So if we could run the winner's loop right now, and then enjoy your dinner. We'll be back in a little while. Thank you very much.